Good evening, everyone. Today is the 25th of June. I want to welcome you to our Monday evening webinar. This is the webinar that our team focuses on a single topic, usually an essential oils topic, sometimes a business topic, or sometimes a little bit of both. Today we're going to be talking about anti-aging, and I think that's an important topic. Whether you are young or old, everyone wants to stay young. They want to keep their skin looking good, and I must say that by using doTERRA essential oils and their products, I feel like I've been able to rejuvenate my skin and to stay healthy for a very long time. Many of you know that my mother, who is 88 years old, lives with me, and she uses I think something like 10 or 12 essential oils almost every day. And while I can't attest that her longevity is due completely to the essential oils, I do know that she is a lifelong supplement taker. So a lifelong nutritional supplement taker, and she has been taking these from the time she was in her 20s or at least early 30s. I was born when my mother was in her early 30s. And she is one of these people who just religiously takes her vitamins every single day. So if we can talk about anti-aging today, we want to talk about anti-aging from the inside out, and also things that you can do on a daily basis to keep yourself healthy. And when we think about anti-aging, we often think about our skin perhaps, or our hair, or we think about other more superficial indicators of aging. But I want you to begin to think about the inside out, because when we do take supplements and we take nutritional support, we really begin to see the effects of those things on the outside of us. So let me share my screen with you, and let's get started with our presentation. Okay, so anti-aging, keeping yourself healthy, youthful, and active naturally, and you're supporting the body, mind, and spirit. What I love about the doTERRA essential oils and products is that they are easy to use, they are easy to incorporate into your life, and we want to make sure that when we're thinking about doTERRA products, we're thinking about using all 4 of the different product lines. So we're using the essential oils, the nutritional supplements, the skin and body care, and even the home care. Why? Because our exposure to toxic chemicals really can deteriorate our skin and our respiratory function and even our digestive function. So we want to eliminate as many toxins as we possibly can from our environment. And that begins with how we clean our homes, how we wash our hair, how we take care of our pets and our children and everything else by using natural products. So first things first, when you're young, you want to be old. How many of us remember perhaps playing in our parents' clothing, dressing up, walking around the house? How many of you have children who have done this? I know my kids, when they were younger, used to love to get dressed up in old coats and hats and kind of swan around the house and play all kinds of games. They tell me now that they used to play some sort of a spy game. I don't really remember all the rules, but I think that for them, that was a way for them to feel big and important. And so while this little baby has this beautiful, fresh, dewy skin and is really in a growing and building phase of his life, he's looking to zoom forward to the next, or the adult stage. And of course, that's what life is all about, folks. So here we have another little girl, and she's also thinking that this is the way perhaps mommy looks when she gets all dressed up. I like the idea. I remember dressing up myself, and what that idea that when we're young, we want to be old, and then as we get older, all we want to do is get younger. Of course, we go through that awkward stage when we're about in our teenage years. I don't know how many of you were beautiful teenagers. I was not a beautiful teenager. I had my awkward moments with lumps and bumps and hair that didn't look as fresh and shiny perhaps as it could have. But that idea that we do transition from being young and dewy to being a little bit awkward. And then finally, though, we are welcome to perfection. What exactly is perfection? Perfection is that stage, I would say, between, I don't know, 20 and 30, where you're just young and dewy, you have beautiful skin, you're in the prime of your life. I remember when I was an newlywed, and one of my doctors saying to me, yes, the prime age for a woman is 23. It's her prime fertility. It's her prime beauty. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm almost there. I'm going to fall over the edge really soon. But our prime or our perfection doesn't have to be a single year or a single moment. Every age is beautiful, and every age can have its perfections. We also have that dewy sense when we meet another person, we're falling in love with them. You can see these two young people, they're in the prime of their lives, they're falling in love. It's such a great way for us to look at youth and think, maybe if you're a little bit older, that was me once, or perhaps what a great way to celebrate life. But of course, life continues to roll on. And I have to say, I love the picture of these two people. They seem to be genuinely caring of one another. And I like the fact that while neither one of them is particularly young, they do look, hold on folks, I have my other phone ringing. They do look like they have lovely skin and beautiful hair, and they are certainly happy and vibrant and look very healthy. Okay, so number one, I want you to think about, so maybe you want to get out your pencil and paper, or you want to take a couple of screenshots as I'm talking about this. I'm going to have some tips for you, and we're going to go through them point by point, and what I'd like you to do to really feel healthier, younger, and happier. And there aren't a lot of steps here, but I think that each one of them is important as we, oops, hold on one second. Here we go. As we go through the talking points about how we keep and stay healthy. So number one is diffusing. I want you to get into the habit of diffusing on a regular basis. Most of us, or the people that my voice is reaching, if you can hear my voice, I know that most of you live in urban areas where there's a lot of smog and pollution. And while you don't necessarily live right in the city, some of you do, the pollution and the ability to clean the air really can go much further than just the environs of the immediate city. Every time we step foot in a city, we actually inhale lots of toxins, they say equivalent to smoking multiple cigarettes at a single throw. So you want to make sure that you're diffusing in your own environment and keeping your own environment clean. So to support emotional balance and memory, which is something that we all can begin to lose as we get older, I want you to try diffusing 1 drop of Elevation, 2 drops of Lime, and 2 drops of Motivate. So that get up and go feeling in the morning can be easily achieved with essential oils and with essential oil blend. But number one is diffuse. We want to talk about also our emotional aromatherapy oils, the emotional touch oils from left to right: Cheer, Passion, Console, Peace, Forgive, and Motivate. And I will tell you, I don't use them in this order. I use them in the order as follows. In the morning, I use Cheer, Passion, and Motivate, and I use them on my temples, on the back of my neck, over my shoulders. And then in the evening, I'm using Console, Forgive, and Motivate. Console, Forgive, and Peace. And the reason I like those choices is because I feel that I'm kind of beginning my day strongly, and then I'm wrapping up my day in another way. I try not to use too many oils during the day because I want my body to not be confused about what I'm using. And I like the idea of routines. Dr. Hill has talked a lot about getting into the habit of using certain essential oils every single day. And we've done that presentation here. For those of you who've missed it, maybe I'll repeat it. But that idea of getting up in the morning, using an essential oil, and using it every single day. Daily habits or daily routines. So your emotional aromatherapy touch, your uplifting, inspiring, and encouraging blend in the morning, and then your comforting, reassuring, and renewing blend at night. Number 2, you want to take care of your skin. So I imagine that this young woman has been completely airbrushed, but man, she looks amazing. Not a single wrinkle, bump, or line. And what we aspire to sometimes is not necessarily achievable if we're comparing ourselves to magazines. But what you can compare yourself to is someone who maybe is close to your age and has good skin. I've been very blessed. My mother has wonderful skin, and I think from that line on my maternal side, we've been very blessed with excellent longevity and really good skin. On my father's side, it's hard to know. I don't really know much of the genetic makeup of my father's family because my father died when I was very young. And so some of those memories, those records have been lost. And I look at pictures, but they are much older. My father was much older when I was born. And so we've lost some of that connection that I thought we might have been able to continue for a long time. So look at younger people and look at people in your own family. How are they aging? What are their problems, if you will? See if you can learn something and then take care of your skin accordingly. So when we talk about our skin, we talk about number 1 is our Virage and HD Clear systems. I love Virage because it's the 4 units right in one package. So many of you have been using this for a while, including the toner and cleanser, and then the hydrating serum and moisturizer. As you know, doTERRA has several different moisturizing and skin protecting lines. They have their original line, they have the Virage, and they have the HD Clear line for skin that may have difficulty with bumps or blemishes, usually teenagers, but it can be people who are going either men and women who are in perimenopause. Sometimes hormonal changes can cause blemishes on the skin. You want to be able to treat that naturally and not go immediately for the very harsh chemicals and drying compounds that can make our skin very dry and difficult to recover from on a long-term basis. Now here's our entire product line. There's actually a few more products, as you well know. We now have a brightening serum, and we also have an under eye cream. But the majority of our products are in this kind of very neutral packaging. I like the fact that there's something for everyone, whether you like to cleanse your face with a foaming face wash, or you like a cream face wash. If you like an anti-aging moisturizer that's a little thinner, or you like something that's a little heavier, doTERRA has the product for you. I've been using many of these products on a regular basis. For whatever reason, I'm not a toner user, folks. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I just don't have it as part of my routine. I usually cleanse my face at night with a foaming face wash, and then I'll put on some of perhaps the anti-aging moisturizer that's shown here. In the morning, I'll take a shower. I have the foaming face wash in my shower so that I can use it there. Sometimes I'll use the facial cleanser, on the far left, the one with the cream cleanser. That's the one my mom uses because she says she got used to not using soap or any kind of soap products on her face. And if that's you, then that's the product for you. And then the invigorating scrub. I like the invigorating scrub, but I want to be mindful that I'm not using it too many times during the week. So once a week really is plenty. And if you get into a normal routine, perhaps on Friday night before you go to bed, or Monday morning, and then using it on the same day. We don't want to scrub our skin raw. That's not the objective. Our objective is just to remove dead skin cells and to refresh the skin. And gentlemen, these products are wonderful for men as well. They are not strong smelling. They're not very floral. And as you can see, the packaging is very neutral. So if you were to have this in your bathroom, no one would say, that's a kind of unusual product for this guy. Okay, let's go to number 3, the importance of caring touch. When we talk about caring touch, we talk about, of course, being in contact with the people that we love and our friends and family, but I want you to also think about the aroma touch technique. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you a new link that doTERRA has for the aroma touch technique, but specifically the hand massage. I think it's important enough that you know how to do a hand massage. Not to say that you're going to become a licensed massage therapist. That's not what I'm talking about. But making contact with other people and touching them on a regular basis is very important. I also understand that in certain cultures, touch is less common, that as a natural practice, we don't go around hugging people. I know my husband and I are both from Latin culture, and we tend to shake hands or to hug or grasp another person when we're in greeting or in parting. And that's not necessarily true in other cultures. The majority of the people on this call I'm reaching are from Southeast Asia. And in some parts of Southeast Asia, perhaps the Philippines, people will clasp hands or embrace as a greeting. In some other places, not so much. I have had the great good fortune to attend church and go to Mass in many different countries, in the Philippines and in Singapore and in Malaysia. And I see the differences when we give the greeting we have a point in our Mass, in the Catholic Mass, where we actually give the sign of peace. And the sign of peace in the United States is usually turning to the person next to you and shaking their hand. If you know them well, if they're a family member, you can embrace them or give them a kiss on the cheek. That's all fine. But I notice that in certain cultures, it's more appropriate to bow, to greet the person and to honor them. So want to get in the habit of bowing and honoring the person is more in line with your culture. You have to make then special times for you to actually touch other people, because we do know that touch is important to our health. Apropos of touch, we know that there's a whole line of spa products that doTERRA has in their arsenal. Everything from the body butter to the hand and body lotion, our citrus bliss lotion. All of these were redesigned a couple of years ago. And I have to say, every time I see them, I just love this packaging. It just goes together so well. I try to keep the body wash in my guest bathroom, as well as the rose hand lotion. I feel like, and sometimes the body butter, depending if I have it or not, I feel like those are great things to just have on hand. If a guest comes and they want to use them, I also want to be reinforcing the idea of that these products are for everyone. I often have the spa bath bar right in the shower. The mud mask and the hand and body lotion I use from time to time. I try to keep the citrus bliss lotion in my car. So if I'm driving along and I look at my hands and I think, oh my, those are a little bit dry, I'm able to put on some lotion right away. And I use the lip balms all the time. Keep them all over our house, in drawers, in pockets, in the car. I can't even imagine. There are literally at least a dozen, if not more, scattered all over my house. I give them to my kids to take to school with them. My daughter has multiples of these at college, but they are a wonderful addition to our hand and body routine. I want you to also think about number 4, training your brain. Now, it becomes very easy as we get older to withdraw from society. And it also, what happens also many times is society begins to withdraw from us. So what do I mean by that? I can see in the case of my own mother, she lived in a neighborhood for 40 years and she knew everyone in the neighborhood. But as time passed, people began to die, or they moved away, or they moved to be with their own children. And slowly but surely, her circle of friends, her contemporaries, really began to diminish to the point where she was the only one left. Now, when we talk about training your brain, you want to make sure that you're training it in different ways. Number 1, of course, is stimulation. We're not sitting in front of the television all the time or just watching TV. We're talking about doing things that will actively engage our brain. Well, and how do we do that? Things like crossword puzzles and working with doTERRA essential oils and memorizing things, learning a language, working with word scrambles, any kind of thing that will challenge you will train your brain. And as we get older, it's important for us also to begin to plug into different ways where we can stay connected. Can you join an organization, a church, a club? Can you take a class with other people that are like-minded? All of those things are important because they get you out of the house and they keep you involved. Now, I imagine that the group, the people that I'm talking to now, all of you are super active. You have so many things to do, you actually don't even know what to do with yourselves. But I want you to think about some of the people in your lives. Do you have an elderly relative who perhaps could benefit from some of this information? Or do you yourself need to be reminded to get out? Are you a bit of a loner? Are you the type of person who maybe doesn't socialize as much? Challenge yourself and pick activities that you will begin to enjoy. Okay, so here's a couple of recommendations for training your brain. Of course, you can always use the emotional touch roll-ons. Those are wonderful ways for you to stimulate your brain. But here's some great ones for you to use on a daily basis. In tune plus balance equals calm, cool, and collected. Also gives you increased focus and can give you less brain fog. You want to do this as a daily application to support memory, and this could be used on many different generations in your family, whether they're the youngest, your students, great for students, folks, and also for your elderly. Also, if you are sort of in that middle age, are you trying to prepare a presentation? Are you talking to your boss? Do you have extra work that you have to do before you leave the office? Try this 1-2 punch and suggest it to others. It really is a great way for you to reach out. These are some of my favorite oils for the brain. For stress, I like lavender, clary sage, frankincense, ylang-ylang, and the citrus oils. For worry, again, lavender, citrus oils, frankincense, again, clary sage, and let's add in there sandalwood. To uplift the mood, we're always having our frankincense in there, of course, but we want to think about bergamot and orange specifically. I love bergamot or bergamot. It has a warm, round, spicy citrus aroma. And uplifting mood can be an important way for us to stay healthy and not to age as quickly. We're talking about memory and learning. We want to make sure we're thinking about rosemary and peppermint, two very important ones for memory and learning. Applying it on the back of the neck, perhaps creating a roll-on that you can put on throughout the day. This is a great combination for an elderly person who perhaps is having memory challenges. If you're feeling disruptive, you have a child who's feeling disruptive, or you're being disrupted all the time, you might consider ylang-ylang or vetiver, chamomile, Roman chamomile, cedarwood, or sandalwood. You can blend some of these oils together. Vetiver and sandalwood are used frequently together. Vetiver has a sort of lemony aroma, in my opinion, and sandalwood obviously is the traditional. And then finally, for attention and focus, ylang-ylang, peppermint, Roman chamomile, and rosemary. So you can see that a lot of these oils or these recommendations overlap each other. But we want to think about what we can do. We can create roll-ons. We can diffuse these oils. We can diffuse them in rotation. And perhaps if you've been using one oil for a long time, maybe you've been using frankincense, try adding in something else. Maybe you want to add in one of the citrus oils, bergamot or orange, or you want to add in some cedar before you go to bed. So think about some of these combinations and challenge yourself to blend in a new way. Okay, avoid if possible. We want to avoid hospitals. Now, sometimes it's unavoidable, and I've said this online before. If I fall and break a leg, you're going to have to take me to a hospital to get a cast put on my leg. But if in our daily life, we want to avoid going into hospital situations. Hospitals, unfortunately, while they do cure us, they are also hotbeds of germs. Many people go into hospitals with one thing and come out with something else. So if you can possibly maintain your own health and keep yourself out of a hospital, you'll be doing much better. So the immune bomb. Okay, so the showcase of the immune bomb is always our On Guard. And today we're going to be giving away On Guard beadlets, because I want you to remember to take your On Guard throughout the day. For those of you who have summer colds, you're in the United States, take a couple of On Guard beadlets or peppermint beadlets with you throughout the day and just pop a few in your mouth. It will begin to help your immune system. So from left to right, we have our lemon, our oregano, our on guard, our tea tree, and our frankincense. So lemon, oregano, on guard, tea tree, and frankincense. You want to place it in a 10 milliliter roller bottle and top up with fractionated coconut oil. You want to use it on the onset of a compromised immune system. Apply to the feet, morning, midday, and evening. Also diffuse without the fractionated coconut oil during the night in bedrooms, and use for 10 days if needed, not longer. If you were going to ingest this particular blend, you would remove the tea tree. We don't want you eating tea tree if you can help it. And you want to make sure that you're taking this on a consistent basis. So don't say to me, oh, I took one peppermint beetlet or one on guard beetlet and I didn't feel better. Now what? You really want to hit some of these illnesses hard, especially when you feel like your immune system is compromised. Okay, number 6, we want you to eat well. Now, while many of you are vegetarians or vegans and you try to eat plants on a regular basis, some of us don't always reach our goals. I know there are certain days where I get to the end of the day and I think, what have I eaten that was green? I try to eat fresh fruits and vegetables every day, but sometimes I don't succeed. And I know, especially with my son, it is sometimes a losing battle. I want to make sure that you are eating as well as you possibly can. And if you're not, or if you're on the run, you want to consider supplements. Now, as we know, our 3 supplements, our Lifelong Vitality Pack, the Microplex VMZ, the Alpha CRS, and the XE Omega combo are really the gold standard for supplementation. Microplex VMZ is our vitamin and mineral supplement. Our XE Omega are our omega fish oils blended specifically to give us lots of omega-3, which we don't get naturally from our foods. And finally, the Alpha CRS, our cellular and vitality complex, which contains lots of anti-aging and antioxidant compounds. So 2 capsules in the morning from each bottle, and then 2 capsules again in the evening. I show Max here because I think it's important enough. If you're a person who suffers from flagging energy for whatever reason, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, exposure to toxins, age, fatigue, overwork, too many responsibilities, consider taking Max on a daily basis, if only as a temporary measure to help you feeling better and stronger. I like Max because it contains no caffeine. If you are a coffee drinker like I am, there really is a limit to how many cups of coffee you can drink during a day. So consider taking Max. It will give you a little bit of a boost, but without the caffeine jitteriness, and won't keep you up at night, which is what I love. Okay, number 7, move your body every day. So in the past 8 months, some of you might know that I've gone back to getting a little bit healthy. I had gotten off the healthy wagon about 2 years ago for various personal reasons, and I'm back on the health wagon. And I have to say, sometimes going to the gym is a chore. I wake up and I think, oh, I don't want to do it. But I have to say, every time I go, I feel better. And for me, I can't always go first thing in the morning, which they say is ideal, but I'm not going to give myself an excuse and say, well, if I can't go at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to go at all. I try to go whether it's morning, noon, or night. My gym is open so many hours a day, I can't even count, maybe not 24, but close to it. Open on weekends, 7 days a week. There's really no excuse. Right now, the weather here in New Jersey is beautiful, so this is the time for us to be getting out and exercising outdoors, walking, enjoying the beautiful greenery. I wish you could see the view from my window. I have to take a picture and show you. It is really beautifully lush and green, and all the flowers are blooming, and the vegetables are beginning to come out. We see all the little tomatoes coming, and cucumbers and zucchinis and squashes, so that's all kind of fun to be able to see at this time of year. But getting out, gardening, do whatever you can. Even if you drive a car, park a little bit further from your workplace. Take the stairs. Challenge yourselves to move every day. Okay, if you are moving, these are your workout friends. Of course, your Deep Blue Rub. and your lemongrass and your frankincense. You want to be applying those to your muscles whenever they feel sore or uncomfortable. Make sure that you're using fractionated coconut oil with your lemongrass, as it can be strong on the skin. Breathe is on the bottom there because you want to make sure that you're using Breathe to keep your airways clean and allow you to breathe easily, especially if you're exercising outdoors. We have a lot of pollen here, and I know sometimes in Southeast Asia you have the haze. So if you are walking or running outdoors, I know one of you, I've seen you on Facebook. I won't name who, but one of my friends from Southeast Asia, I see you exercising all the time, and I know you're using your Breathe and your Deep Blue Rub. So keep up the good work. Being able to exercise outdoors really is a joy, and it's not a chore. And if you can exercise outdoors with friends, even better. One of my favorite products are still the Deep Blue capsules. They really are an exerciser's best friend, but they're really good for everyone. My mother takes them on a daily basis, 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules at night to alleviate pains and aches that she has associated with arthritis. I take them as needed. If I have some sort of ache or pain, or I've done something a little bit too strenuous at the gym, I come home and take my Deep Blue capsules, but I really do love them. And as a substitute for things like Panadol or Aleve or aspirins, they are much easier and safer for the liver. Okay, number 8, let's get some sleep. We've talked here about sleep hygiene and how important it is to get some sleep. We want to be turning off our phones at night and turning off our televisions and our computers. All of those electromagnetic fields are not healthy and not conducive to a healthy sleep pattern. We have talked, doTERRA has, at conventions about something called sleep hygiene. And we may actually redo a presentation right here on this call about good tips for sleep in general. But getting enough sleep can help you to reduce stress levels. It can help you with weight maintenance, certainly with your health. You want to make sure that sleeping is a priority. Okay. Number 1, when we sleep, we have to breathe. So I'm recommending or re-recommending all of the Breathe products. We want to renew, repair, and refresh. And if you know someone who is a snorer, someone who snores or has a cough perhaps in the evenings, the Breathe products are some of my favorites. The original Breathe respiratory blend drops are a great thing to put into your diffuser at night. Applying the Breathe Touch right under the nose or on the throat or the chest can be effective in breaking up any congestion. The Breathe Vapor Stick can actually be applied so mild it can be applied directly to the face, and kids love it. So you can apply it on your sinuses, across the forehead, underneath the eyes, under the nose, without any irritation at all. And finally, the Breathe Respiratory Drops. I don't know if you could hear everybody coughing here in the background, but we have a lot of people with coughs, including my mom, and she's been eating the Breathe Respiratory Drops. They taste delicious and they do a wonderful job. Okay, but what's our real 1-2 punch for sleep? Our Serenity Blend and our Serenity capsules. Last night, unfortunately, I'm not sure what I did. I think I drank too much iced tea with caffeine right before bed, and I didn't realize it was caffeinated. But at 1:30 in the morning, I was still wide awake, which is why the call got posted a little bit late today. So for those of you who are sitting around thinking, well, is she getting on? Yes, that was the iced tea. So Serenity applied to the soles of your feet, around your head, perhaps on your pillow, in a diffuser, can be very restful and soothing, so that you can drop off to sleep. And then the Serenity capsules. I have to say, at 1:30, I couldn't stand it anymore. I got back up and I took 2 Serenity capsules, and within 10 minutes I was sound asleep. And I should have done that probably an hour earlier, but I didn't even think of it. And my mind, of course, was racing from the caffeine. So I, was going through a million things in my mind. I tried everything. I tried counting sheep and meditating and praying the rosary and all the things that I usually do that will put me to sleep, and nothing worked last night. And as I finished each thing, my eyes were still wide open and staring at the ceiling. But the Serenity capsules are the thing that finally got the ball rolling for me. Okay, so we've talked a lot today about ways to stay young and healthy. Oops. Sorry, folks. There we go. Ways to stay young and healthy. I hope some of those were helpful to you. Oh, we've got a lot of comments. Someone says Virage spray toner is great. I'm sure it is great. I don't know. I'm just not part of my routine, at least not yet. And someone else says peppermint helps me stay cool while walking on hot days. Exactly. I agree completely. I love to apply peppermint. I'll give you another tip. If you ever are left at home without your peppermint and you get outside and the only thing you have is a peppermint beadlet, you can actually crush it between your fingers and then take whatever's inside the beadlet and apply it at the back of your neck. So you know that a peppermint beadlet is a half of a peppermint drop with a little bit of coconut oil for moisture, and it works just fine on the skin. You may have that little piece of gelatin capsule that you want to throw away, but what's inside there is completely safe and you can apply it right to the skin. I've done this actually many times when I've been traveling and thought, oh no, I could really use some peppermint, but I've got my peppermint beadlets with me all the time. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to be giving away some On Guard beadlets. Okay. And our winners today are, oops, sorry folks, I got to write this down, as you know, otherwise I don't get it done. Okay. Our winners today are Hanny Hurtenow. Hurtenu, and Engracia. Hanny Hurtenu and Engracia, congratulations. You are the winners of the On Guard beadlets. And we will be back on the call next week. Our next week's call will be on the 2nd of July. We'll be talking about the July monthly specials, but before the July call, I'll be announcing all of the topics for the month of July. Some of the leaders have been asking me to announce the topics, and it's not for lack of trying. I'm actually trying to coordinate with 2 other leaders, so we have coordination between many of the calls that go on during the week, which is why I have been announcing just the call for the single day. So for those of you who are faithful listeners and are on every week, I see a couple of you out there. Thank you so much for sticking with the call. Thank you for being on again today. And we'll be announcing all of our topics next week. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all back here again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.